Okay, for number 34, we have a system of inequalities question. And we have to create the system first, so they don't actually write it for us. So we have to translate it a little bit, we have to graph it, and then a little follow-up question on the bottom. So a few things for number 34. This is a loaded question. So first, let's translate. The sum of two numbers, so that tells us to add x and y, is more than 8. More than, we're going to use the greater than symbol. Greater than is the same as saying more than. When you double x, doubling is 2x, and add it to y, the sum is less than 14. So great. Just creating that system alone bought us some points, and now we want to obviously do everything below. We're going to be graphing these, so I'm going to take a second to get each of these into the appropriate y form. So I'm going to subtract x in this one, and I'm going to subtract 2x in the bottom one. Getting y by itself, I don't have to flip any signs, I'm not dividing by any negative, is going to help me graph these. Okay, with an inequality, I need 4 pieces of information. I need to know the slope and y-intercept, obviously. In this case, it's going to be negative 1 and 1, negative 1 over 1, and 8. That's coming right from y equals mx plus b. M is the coefficient of x, and your y-intercept is the constant. What type of line would we have? For both of these, they're both going to be dotted. We don't see any or equal to symbols. And since it says greater than, we're going to shade above the inequality. And we can finish off our second one here as well. Our slope here is negative 2 over 1. The over 1 just helps you with direction-wise how to move on your graph. The y-intercept is 14. We have, again, a dotted line like I mentioned earlier. And in this case, it says less than, so we're going to shade below. So we'll start with the green, 14. So count carefully here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14 on the y-axis. And since our slope is negative 2, we're going to go down 2 over 1. That's where that over 1 helps a little bit. To remind you that you should be moving 2 directions, vertically and horizontally. This is a dotted line. So when I connect it, I want to be careful not to just go over this in pen and then not be able to take it away. Make sure you indicate that it is dotted. I usually just put a little line through the points without connecting them. And I'm shading this below. I don't want to go crazy yet. I want to see what the other line looks like, and then we can find their intersection. We can find where these shadings overlap. I don't want to go too nuts just yet. That might make it hard for me to graph the second one if I'm drawing lines all over the place. So for the second one, our y-intercept was 8. And we're moving down 1 over 1, negative 1. So down 1 over 1. We had, again, a dotted line. And for the red one, I'm shading above the line. So now we can see where's the solution to a system of inequalities where the shadings overlap. In this case, it would be in this little triangle between the two where the green and red are overlapping each other. So in this region here. Okay, I'm just going to label with the original inequality as well. And this one was the x plus 8. X plus y is greater than 8. And there's one little question on the bottom. Is 6-2 a solution? Determine if he is correct and explain your reasoning. So 6-2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-2 is located right here in blue. So is he correct? We could say no, he's not correct. It's not in the solution region. It is where the two lines intersect. So if it was a system of equations, you'd be perfectly correct. We have dotted, excuse me, we have dotted lines here. That again relates to the inequality symbols we have. So we could say no, 6-2 is not a solution, simply based for that reason. So no, chi is not correct, or chi is incorrect. It lies on a dotted line. So it's not in the solution region. Actually, both lines are dotted. But even if only one of them was, it would still be the case that it's not in the solution set. Also, if we want to go with like an algebraic approach, let's take the easier inequality here. If we plug in his coordinate of 6-2, we get 8 is greater than 8, and that is obviously false. So either of those explanations would suffice for reasoning. And this was a 4-point question, pretty involved here. Probably looking at 1 point for just writing the inequality, 2 for the graph, roughly, and 1 for the question on the bottom. You do need some reasoning there. Yes or no by itself doesn't buy you any points. Okay, this was number 34.